Welcome to the Be Your Best Self blog by Marcia Abbott. Why? I have to believe it. I hope you will too, because that's all we can really do. It started out as a normal day, like any other before it. The sky was blue, the grass was green, and the world just seemed to make perfect sense. Everything seemed just as it should, until suddenly it wasn't. In the blink of an eye, life didn't seem to make any sense at all. And I sat back and wondered that one question nobody should ever consider, that simple question of why. I am sure many of you have done this too. Think about the last time an awful tragedy hit you or someone that you love. Maybe it was an illness or an accident, or worse yet, a death. Life has a way of doing this to all of us at some point in time. It gives us that reality check of what real hardship means and how it can impact us in such a way that it will eventually alter the course of time. It will alter the course of our life. And when these tragic things happen to the ones we love, to those people who are good, genuine, and kind to the world, it just makes it that much harder because there's no good answer as to why. Yet we need to know this answer. We must know this answer in order to feel some sort of relief from the pain that lives inside. This sort of pain that feels like our heart just shattered into 1,000 pieces. The overwhelming agony of living in this new reality that life has now created. And a kind of hurt that makes us feel like life will never again make sense. A world where the sky will no longer appear blue and the grass no longer green. So because of that, we just need to know and understand why. Has life been cruel to you? Has the world been unkind? Do you feel hopeless and lost with some sort of tragedy that affects you or someone you love? And do you spend so many of your days wondering why this all had to happen? If so, I am sure you're hanging on the edge of your seat, waiting for me to give you the answer that you want, or more importantly, the answer that you need. And while I wish I had the secret to some of those big mysteries in life, I am no different from anyone else. So when hardship hits the ones I love, I experience all this too, the pain, the questions, the anger, and even the sadness that comes along with some of life's toughest realities. And it leads me down a dangerous path of how life just isn't always fair. And I really wish most days that I just knew why. But recently, a very important woman in my life shared with me something that ended up changing my perception during times like these. She said some very simple words that really spoke to my heart. And because of that, I want to share them with all of you who are dealing with those unfair realities in your life. This woman reminded me of this. She said, people always say everything happens for a reason, but it should be more like God will find a reason for everything that has happened. And it was right then and there when I realized that we can spend a lifetime trying to figure out why something happens, which only leads to more pain because we don't get the answers we want. Or instead, we can choose to believe that when these things happen, God will help us find the reason for it in our life as we see the rest of the days and years unfold. So after my friend spoke those simple words, suddenly the sky seemed a little bluer and the grass a little greener. And while life probably won't ever feel perfect again, it seems to be slightly less painful, and all because I'm choosing to believe. And I have to believe it. I really hope you will too, because that is all we can do. For those of you struggling with something in life, or if you have a topic of interest that you want me to talk about in this blog, email me at beyourbestselfblog@gmail.com. Let's work together to be our very best selves. Click on the subscribe button for my weekly updates.